Hello everyone, it's the weekly wrap-up here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, and I am in the hospital today doing the weekly wrap-up because, as always, we need to introduce you to somebody. Who is this? You might say. So it's not even, come here, Princess Bee. It's not even a day went by that Benji and Sophia went home with Dr. Campbell and his wife to be adopted formally, that the very next morning, a stray came from one of our staff members. This little girl was very scrawny, skinny, and had been out on a busy road for about 3 to 4 days. They posted her on all their neighborhoods watch kind of Facebook posting if that she was somebody's, because she's so friendly. They reach out to rescue groups, and here in Minnesota right now the rescue groups are just swamped with domestic strays. So we decided that she could come here temporarily, and we'll do the stray hold here, and she's getting vetted here and spayed. She's not spayed and everything else, and she got dewormed. And so she's going to need a name, whether she stays or gets adopted from a staff member. But she is a gray stray, which is, you know, when we get gray strays, they always have to have Homer in their name. And so I think Harmony spelled differently was one recommendation, so that she had Homer in her name. So if you guys have any thoughts, let us know. But she's a little sweetie and had her first vet day, and now next week we'll have her spay and everything else. So wanted to give you some more updates. At the end of this, I want to take you guys through some animal observations for this week. I know you love to hear that. But I have to turn the iPad around for that, so I'll do that at the end. Hi everyone who's coming in. I see Tanya, Leanne, Kathy, Faith, thank you guys for all joining us today. Maria, we have some updates. So Catio Town, we had the trusses delivered this week. That was just amazing to see the huge trusses, 60-foot trusses, and then all the lumber, the metal has been delivered. So on the 22nd, which is Monday, they will be here with teams, and so it'll take 2 weeks to construct the main structure, then a week to put the flooring concrete in, and then we're like 50% there. So I've been working with the architects, and I'm designing each room, and a lot of it we're going to be putting some of the catwalks and skywalks, but we also like using almost like kitchen counters. I'm going to turn down my radio. Kitchen counters to kind of frame the room so that not only do we don't want just the steps up, we want them to be able to puddle together. We want to be able to put a crate up there if we're crating a cat, and things like that. So it's just a lot more detailed than I thought it would be, especially because a lot of our counters are going to be custom colors and have to be ordered, but it's been fun to do. My log cabin room and the Mellow Meow is the one thing I've been scouring on Facebook, Marketplace, because I don't want to spend money for log furniture. That's not the best use of your money. But if I can find discounted used log furniture for the log cabin room, we're looking at coffee table or a dining room table that can be pushed up against the window, and with a bench, so it looks like you have a dining room table, but it's all cat friendly. It's all a cat perch. Then we're also going to be putting in, we're looking for a fireplace surround that we can get off of Facebook Marketplace, and so that it's just faux against the wall, and then we're having some really fun platforms above the fireplace, so it looks like a log cabin and things like that. And then also I was looking for one of those big old kind of fashioned fountains that have the U here, then it goes up, and another U. That has a little thing on the top for the meow room, because we want to put toy balls and ping pong balls in the bottom, so it's like just they can play and it can move around, and then a cat bed on top. But those aren't things I want to spend and buy new. because of the expense. So I've been, like I said, looking at Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, and it's just been, things sell like that. So I'm still looking for that. The Cat's Meow Pavilion is part of that Catio Town. We've had now our third contractor out to estimate. I could not believe how expensive pavilions have gotten, and we have a budget that we want to meet, and so we're on our third person who's trying to work up an estimate that's within our price range, so that we can get that pavilion done this fall or latest in the spring. And so we talked about last week that the board's coming next week, so all the fun stuff I have to do is with Gina and Katie is we do a business plan update. So you guys get to see the operations of the sanctuary, the cats that you help rescue, but we really are about professionalizing and continuing to professionalize and be a leader in the sanctuary industry since it's still fairly new. And that means, like we talked about, doing formal reviews for the staff, benefits, proper compensation. I just saw again and heard that what really broke my heart is a wonderful, wonderful dog and cat rescue here in Minnesota is much like us, where we believe we should be paying livable wages. People should be able to have careers in animal welfare. There's a wonderful TED Talk that talks about how do you expect the best employees, the most compassionate employees who are sacrificing so much when you're not compensating them. And so this rescue is near and dear to my heart. And somebody started complaining about what the executive director made at that dog and cat rescue. And I will tell you that is frustrating me that they think that director who does all the fundraising, does all the strategy, does all the business, raises the money, and leads that wonderful group of employees, that they shouldn't be compensated just like if they were at a for-profit company. We're not looking to be Trump Towers or head of this huge, large organization, but we need to retain good talent. And so when I saw those comments, it just made me want to stand on my soapbox again and appreciate all of you who appreciate that our frontline staff, our veterinarians, our leadership team should be paid livable wages and should be able to have retirement and should receive PTO time and should receive health benefits and vision and dental when we can, and all those things, and we continue to add those because they are making sure the mission is followed. They are making sure the sanctuary is safe. They're making sure those animals are cared for. And so when anybody makes over $50,000 in this industry, people get upset. And who can live off $50,000 in this economy anymore? You can't, with 3 to 4 pets, with a household, with gas. It's just not fair. So I really appreciate you guys supporting us, that we are an organization that supports our staff. And thank you for doing that. So part of that professionalized, after I got off that soapbox, is we have formal business plans, formal budgets, strategic plans. It is not a fly-by-night organization. What we do is thought out, but we also have to be responsive. So for example, we had a capital improvement budget that had a lot of things in it this year. And when we rescued 30-some cats last year that we didn't know were coming, we reallocated those capital improvement plans to build Cattail Creek, and you guys helped us fund that. So instead, we aren't doing an upgrade on the road, or we're not doing an outdoor Wi-Fi upgrade this year, because it's not like we can just go spend $100,000 more that was in our business plan. When we have changes, our board of directors approves that. They also want to make sure that we're meeting donor intent. That's really important. And so right now, we have our kind of mid-year to year-end, not year-end yet, update. And so I am going through PowerPoints. Katie, Gina, and I are going through all the financials to say where we're over, where we're under, what we shifted, what our strategies are moving forward for like our savings and things like that, because this is a plan. And then we update our strategic plan. What have we met? What do we think we want to change in the future? For example, as we reviewed our strategic plan, we have so much for the sanctuary, so much for the industry, for the captive wildlife crisis, but something that got overlooked, we wanted to add back in, and that was that we want to be an asset to the community we reside in. And that can look a lot of different ways. Like we help upgrade the township road and pay for that because we know we have traffic on the road, but it benefits the township and everything else. We donate to local community events, but also it might be we want to support the community cat thing. We want to somehow, in the past we've done like a grant to schools to teach them about the captive wildlife crisis and help kids want to get into the industry of animal welfare. So we don't know what it looks like, but it was something that we do, but it wasn't really called out in our strategic plan. So we'll be adding and updating that. So there's so much of the business side and accounting and accounts payable and things like that that you guys don't get to see. But it's to make sure that we are following donor intent, we're using your money wisely, and that we're transparent as possible, and that we are on a business plan so that we're sustainable for years and years and decades to come. Also, we've had the new stray you saw. We had an exam. Leo the Savannah had an exam. So if you're a sponsor parent, you'll be getting some updates on him, including that he was hyperthyroid. We see that a lot in older cats. His records show he's 10 years old, but when we're rescuing animals, sometimes those records are very inaccurate or we don't have an age at all. So he's starting medicine twice a day, and hopefully he'll do just fine. Like Benny, he's hyperthyroid, things like that. So moves. So the big move I couldn't tell you about last week, but sponsors know now, is Kimba the Lynx graduated from quarantine and went down next to Ripley and Miko the Lynx in what we call Cougar or Roar Ridge Island, next to Roar Ridge where Buddy was. And I just kudos to the staff. They worked a lot with her in operant conditioning. Remember when we rescued her, that owner said she would never go in a crate. And our staff had to go down there. They had to catch her live in the house. They had to immobilize her live in the house because as sweet as she seemed to be to the owner, she wouldn't go in a crate. So since she's been here, the staff have really worked hard at operant conditioning to get her into the crate voluntarily, and that's what they did. And so she crated. They brought her down. We can definitely say she was a little stressed in the beginning. That open, huge space, and they left a lot of brush and everything in there so that she could hide. It was a little intimidating, but within a few days, she was back out. The biggest thing about Kimba is she had a routine, and her routine was to come out early morning and late night. So on morning rounds, every day it was, we can't open the gates because we're still looking for Kimba, and they would lock Nico and Ripley in and look on the shared wall, and of course she would like to hunker down on the shared wall in this big brush pile. And so finally one day we're like, this is taking a lot of time every day and causing some stress for us to make sure she's safe and in there and everything. And so we were able to go in and knock down some of that brush, leave her areas she really liked, but thin them out enough that we could see more. And what magically happened is, because all that brush wasn't there to cover her except for some strategic spots, she's been out and about more and curious, moving around, really more confident. So appreciate all of that. I see a lot of people are talking about the hyperthyroid. Yep, we can definitely medicate. If we have cats that can't medicate or younger, we've actually done the radiation therapy as well. So I think many of you with your domestic cats have had that issue as well, and it's definitely manageable. So we're happy about that. So Kimba was great. So when Kimba moved, Buddy had to move. So Buddy moved to Cattell Creek temporarily, and he is loving it. He is running around, using the skywalks, the platforms. He really, really likes it. So we might choose to keep him there, but we also learned Buddy is happy almost anywhere he goes. So depending upon where other bobcats are going to move before the winter, we don't know where Buddy will stay. But if you're a sponsor, once those moves are permanent, you know you'll get an update. And so we have some ideas of Kaya Bogart, Shrek, Buddy moving, Sky Celine, Claude and Benson. So it's all just in discussions right now, you know, and trying to make those decisions before winter. The other thing that we loved about Kimba's move is when Buddy was next to Ripley and Miko, Ripley, the female lynx, loves to get a rise out of other cats. And she would just sit at that corner and yell at Buddy and chase him when he went in and out of the bungalow. And she was so preoccupied, didn't want to eat a lot of times because she was so on that wall, and Buddy really didn't care, but he liked to just kind of tell her off too. Kimba is not even acknowledging her neighbors in a good way. And so far we haven't seen any of that kind of possessiveness from Ripley, so we hope that's a good turnout too. So I wanted to take you guys through kind of, we do this every once in a while. I won't take you through every observation of every day, but I love, really, you guys are so sweet. I'm seeing your comments come in about my hair. You're very sweet, I appreciate it. But I want to kind of show you what we see on a daily basis, and these are just samples, and these ones have some cute videos. So bear with me as I take you to my computer, and I turn you around. 1 second. All right. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. Elise, can I have you as a, maybe I can do it. I think I can do it. So this is on my computer. I also get emails, but these are the updates that came in, we'll just say for Monday. So you can see what the caretakers do. So Rio was working that day and posted about Aurora the caracal and that group, that there was red grassy bile in the room. We can assume that's Aurora with her EPI, pancreatic insufficiency, but of course she ate grass. So she was acting healthy, but there are a lot of pictures of poop and vomit that we get in animal care software. Katrina posted that Kimba, this is right after her move, was hiding in the bushes at first at 7 a.m. check, but then came out and started walking around and using platforms. All food left was gone in the a.m. So this is right after her move. When we move cats, we always want 3 to 7 day observations, and usually it's about 7 days, and sometimes twice a day so that we know they're doing well. If there's mergers, we do the same type of thing. So Kisa, the little Bengal, as we know, she's always had, she's got scar tissue in her tear ducts, so she always has runny eyes. So even though if it's normal, they put an observation, and they might have to do that every single day if it's something chronic, but then that way everybody knows what's going on. Betsy the Bengal left about half of her meal day one, and Bestie has lost weight, not in a bad way. She's outside a lot more because of the temporary, but just we always, if they leave food, it gets noted too, just to make sure they might be getting too much food and need to cut back. We don't want any maggots or anything in foods, or it could be a medical issue. Here's a cute one. Josie, whiskers on her left side of her face were twitching abnormally in this video. So we're going to show you this video. And it's, again, nothing that we really needed to worry about, but something that was noted that was a little different. And don't worry, once I hit play, I'll go back up and scroll back up. But I first want to go back here. And so you can see what they noted. If I hit still, see those little whiskers on that one side? So it was just something really small that the caretaker noticed. Sorry, there's a lot of noise in the background, I know, because I'm in an echoey room and I don't want to stop them. But that was little Josie's just twitched, nothing major. Another observation was left a hairball on bed overnight. So now that the caretakers are sleeping with Edgar, they're getting some surprises. Moved to the front room in quarantine. So Rio, when Kimba moved, Rio was able to move in quarantine. So move uneventful, that seems like a Debbie Downer term, but it's actually a really good term. It means that nothing bad happened, no stress. It was just an average day for him. Kaya the Bobcat, not interested in food today. That's been a couple days since they've been building the new enclosure in Cattail Creek over there. She's been a little nervous about the construction. And then you'll see Dream left some things. Puma Bengal was stressed from the storm, which was a first for him. But after 40 minutes, he got access back to his yard. Katrina found 2 chewed pills from a cat. We have a few cats that are really good at spitting out their pills after caretakers leave. Kimba stayed hidden when she was feeding. Jill was tried feeding her tonight, so again, we had more than one observation. Tiger Bengal received his Silencia injection today, but he was a little unsteady, and so Rio said as soon as she looked down, he was down in his dog glue, which was really weird that he could get down there that fast. So she just put a note in to make sure in case he fell, we were watching him, but he seemed all good. And here's one that, again, because Kimba had just moved, that we wanted to show that Kimba actually had used her bungalow because she was released into her yard. And so seeing that she used her indoor bungalow for the first time and came in for food was really important because we want to make sure she's using all spaces of the habitat she moved to. You can see she's still a lanky teenage girl. And then just a few more normal rounds, nothing. Sebastian Serval looked good today. He had was off and had a vet day, so and took a little longer to recover than most because of his age. But just wanted to share with you, I'll turn this around again, kind of a day in the life of observations. There's usually always probably 10 to 15 observations a day, but I like to show you because it's not stuff like, oh, a cat's limping. It is the little minute details that the amazing caretakers and interns notice and put in so that we are always ahead of the curve as much as we can be. I know they're saying Nunda likes to spit out her pills. So does Tiger. Tiger, we can find usually after Katrina leaves a pill in his bed, but I feel like he holds it in his mouth because you can tell it's dissolved a little until somebody leaves. And so all of that is put in there. But it's just something small I wanted to share with you today. I love to give you some of the behind the scenes work that goes on. And again, as always, I appreciate your guys' support, and hopefully next week I'll be able to tell you that the stray has been spayed and has a home after the 10-day hold. And so thank you guys so much again, and definitely put in the comments if you have, I know somebody said Mora, that's what my husband said too, because that was the city she was found in. So we'll kind of give her a nickname, and then we'll see if somebody adopts her from the sanctuary, and if so, of course, we allow them to rename her if they want. But thank you guys, and I will see you next week.